Hey, this is Joshua, MVA Studio, daily video blog, live and direct from my car. Hopefully this thing doesn't hit my shirt. It's beautiful out, but spring in Minnesota is so windy, and it sucks. This video is how to collaborate without collaborating. So there is a lot of accepted wisdom. There's a big propagandistic push in design programs to go on and on about collaboration. But if I'm being honest, I hate collaborating. One of my favorite things that I discovered when I started working in the corporate world or in ad agencies is that just because 2 or 3 people were working on a project did not mean that they were working together. It just meant that you were each working on your own thing, and then whatever worked out would be the project. And that's not to say I've never collaborated and I'll never do it again, but in general, it's not my preferred way of working, especially stuff like group brainstorms. I think that's an actual nightmare. But, I think I collaborate well with clients, and I do it on accident. And I have a general rule, which is a lot of the stuff I advocate for is because it was an accidental side effect of the way that I was working. Or it was a thing I figured out from teaching, or it was a thing I saw in retrospect, or maybe I was doing something, then I read a book, realized the book was describing the thing that I was doing and that there was a name for it. So one of the things that I discovered when I went kind of hardcore into process mode about 6 years ago was that a lot of nonsense was disappearing from the creative process. So I show routinely unbelievably shitty pencil sketches because I can't be motivated to learn how to draw. I'd show pencil sketches, a description, and reference material of what I was thinking about formally. And then I'd show that to the client. The client would pick one. I'd make the thing, send it to them, and then that was often the end of the story. There was no, what about the color? There was no, have you thought about different fonts? There was none of this stuff that normally comes about in design projects. The stuff that I was used to from 2003 to 2010 or 11. The stuff I'm still used to when I work inside of corporations or when I worked at an agency and couldn't work the way that I would normally prefer to work. All of a sudden, clients pick something, and I send them the final thing, they check it for typos, and it's done. Why? Why does that happen? What I figured out is that I was inadvertently collaborating with clients. So the traditional logic to collaborate with a client is that we should sit around and have a meeting, and we should whiteboard, and we should brainstorm, and I don't know, we should do like an improv workshop somewhere, and maybe we should go camping together, or go do a yoga retreat, and then we'll have this bond, and then we're going to collaborate with each other. Or what I believe for why people leave me alone in general is that I was bringing them in from the beginning. So what they were used to was kicking off a project that's ultimately their project. It's not mine, it's theirs, right? The client kicks it off. It's their poster. It's their exhibition. It's their package. And what they're used to is letting go for me to go make something. And when I come back, it's finished. It's now officially mine. And they need ownership over it again. So the way that they do that is by tweaking and by making revisions. And I think this is subconscious. I don't think anyone sits around and thinks, this is excellent and finished. Let me endlessly nitpick the color. they have no ownership. And so they're creating ownership through that endless nitpicking. So me showing up with sketches, with concepts, with the research that I did that is about them and their problem, they're picking the solution or the answer or their favorite thing for their own project. I think that by showing up earlier with unfinished work, the client is taking ownership of it. Because what's going to happen is the version that they want is the one that comes to fruition. Not they pick from two finished things that are my work. I think that subconsciously it fulfills the need for ownership. And I think there's a lot of ways to do this and a lot of different hacks. So another project, not pencil sketches, digital comps, but extremely rough and unfinished. Like down to me saying stuff like, ignore the red, I just use red because at some point it's got to have color. And then that person picked a concept and they had two requests. They said it's supposed to be watery, it feels icy, and the font feels too soft and not as bookish as it should. And I agreed. Made those changes, pushed the work as far as I could in terms of making it excellent, and there was literally no changes after that. It was done. Working on a campaign for the haunted basement for the soap factory, and did what the research I could. I had to work really fast. So I came up with these themes that I thought I could address. There were still concepts. And then I showed a mood board for each concept. And they were fairly simple. And I said, there's this concept, it's about these themes and these ideas. There's this one, it's about this, this, and this. And there's this one, it's about this, this, and this. This is the neighborhood that the work will live in. I don't know that it'll specifically look like any of this. The client says, I like decollage. I go to work, send them a few options of a very rough draft, and that's it. Then it's just make work. Then it's just, we're done. None of this is because I'm smart or special. And I have one last example like this. On our website, we have this service, I don't know how to call it, a service, an offering, a method, whatever, called The Producer. Props to Mike Perry. You were a big influence in this from when we were students. Your philosophy of making stacks of stuff and then turning that stacks into work. The way that we've done this project, we did it with the Josh Harmony record, is we had a conversation and there were all these things they were interested in and there were things I was interested in. I went and did visual research around all those themes and sent them this deck with like maybe 12 pages of different ways that we could do not different ways we could do the project, different stuff that I would explore, from handmade punk records to psychedelic typography to, oh God, what else? There was more to it. Things that were in a series like Penguin Books or whatever. I sent them a PDF, and what the band did, they looked at it on their phones, took screen grabs, sent me back the stuff that they were most interested in. That was how we collaborated. I provided an input, they reacted, then I went and made stuff. And again, their changes were so minimal. This isn't about a trick either. This is about everyone involved getting to do what they want to do. And I think what happens is, yeah, you hold off on finishing, you show them work as early as possible. And luckily for me, my work is about the project. I work from the inside out one way or another. And they're now invested. And then because of that, that whole thing that designers always say, like, why don't they trust me? I'm the expert. I think when your clients are invested, they will trust you. Once they have ownership early, they feel listened to, they feel like they're part of the process, that's when they're going to trust you. They're not going to ask for the stupid, oh, let's look at some more color options, stuff like that. that stuff goes away because they're with you for the ride now. So in my opinion, that's how you collaborate with your clients without sitting around a whiteboard. The other thing is you don't have to sell the clients. You don't have to sell a solution to someone who's involved in creating the damn solution. A lot of the stuff that you deal with your clients, it is avoidable. And it's not because your clients are stupid. It's because they want to be involved, and you have to find a way to let them be involved that doesn't screw up what you need in order to do a project. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.